Here is one of my favorite guests, my favorite people, a longtime friend and friend of the program, quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts, along with Andrew Luck, and the first quarterback to ever take the Seattle Seahawks to a Super Bowl, Matthew Hasselbeck. Good to see you.
Rich, what's up?
How you doing?
Great, no delay. I like being live like this.
I know. You're in Colts cam, and sometimes it takes a couple seconds normally.
Technology.
But here you are now. Here you are in the flesh. Yeah.
I thought we were at the Phoenix Open, hence the...
Is that right?
The outfit. I didn't know we were doing the Old West.
No, we do have waste management that is here, though.
Okay, good.
Yeah, if you saw all those horses that are out there, there's people with shovels because there's lots of landmines.
We're composting.
Yeah, that's the waste management that we've been doing out there.
Nice. That's pretty cool, though.
You saw me on a horse before?
I did.
What'd you think?
It was amazing.
That's the word you'd use?
It was unlikely. It's not what I thought I would say.
Word. Unlikely.
It reminded me when I was near your house one time in Beverly Hills, and there's a Polo Ralph Lauren store at the end of Rodeo Drive.
Oh my gosh.
And I thought I saw a billboard of you kind of in like that Polo Ralph Lauren garb on a horse.
Yeah.
I thought, nah, that can't be Rich. And sure enough, probably was you.
Is it Ralph Lauren, though? Or is it Ralph Lauren?
Well, I mean, you would say Lauren.
Okay.
You know,
right.
The rest of us, guys like me.
It's like, you'd say.
Lauren.
Yeah.
Ralph. Is it Ralph?
Yeah. So you were a New Englander.
Yes,
right,
sir.
from back in the day.
Yes.
And you've also spent many a year in Seattle.
Yeah, so this is my dad's team playing my former team. It's kind of how we're looking at it in our family.
That is the case, isn't it?
Yeah.
What was it like growing up around the Patriots?
It's awesome. Love the Patriots. They were my favorite team until 1983 when they traded my dad to the Los Angeles Raiders. Mm-hmm. And I hated them for a little while. Mm-hmm. You know, they traded my dad. But then we won the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Super Bowl 18, beat the Redskins. And
your dad had an integral role in that, did he?
I don't know if it was integral.
Oh,
he blocked an extra point, which changed actually the over-under in the game, apparently. We found out years later we'd get like mail. Yeah. I don't know if people know that players get a lot of mail from prisoners. Like people in prison write you a lot of mail.
Yeah.
And my dad got a lot of mail from prisoners that had like gambled on like the over-under in the game, that 1 point.
Yeah.
Some good, some bad. Some happy, some sad.
Some nefarious elements.
Yeah. So, but that was great. So then I kind of forgave the Patriots because we won the Super Bowl. And then in high school, I was actually a ball boy for the Patriots. So then that was probably the most fun job I ever had.
Who was the coach then?
It was Dick McPherson.
From former Syracuse guy.
That's correct.
Dick McPherson. And who was the quarterback when you were growing up? Was it Grogan?
It was Grogan, yeah. Mr. Grogan was the head coach.
Mr. Grogan is how you refer to him?
Or I guess you would call him Steve.
Okay.
Steve Grogan.
But that when you...
Yeah, it's Mr. Grogan, it's Mr. Nelson, Mr. Hanna, Mr. Smith, you know. It's how it is.
Yeah, sure, because you're a respectful young man. The Hasselbecks don't just raise anybody willy-nilly.
No, very strict at the Hasselbeck household.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. I didn't know that was not a normal childhood. People would ask me like, "Oh, what are you going to do when you grow up?" And I'd be like, "Oh, probably just play in the NFL like my dad, I guess." I just thought that was normal. I found out later that was not normal.
And now, what year is this for you? Is it 16?
It's actually 17 because that first year with the Green Bay Packers on the practice squad, the NFL doesn't count it in the program. But I played scout team tight end most of the year, so blocking Reggie White. So I certainly count it. I would say it was one of the tougher years that I had.
What was that like? It was
fun. He was great. The whole team was great. They were coming off of their second consecutive Super Bowl.
Right.
Obviously, Brett Favre, I think, won his third consecutive MVP that year. So it was fun. It was. I tell people it was like being at the Harvard Business School of what it's like to be an NFL quarterback, being in that room with Ron Wolf as the GM and Mike Holmgren as the coach and Andy Reid as our quarterback's coach. It was valuable.
And now Russell Wilson, I'm here with Matthew Hasselbeck on the Rich Eisen Show. Russell Wilson is the first quarterback since Favre to play back-to-back Super Bowls from the NFC. It's the last NFC quarterback was Favre from those teams. I want to give you the floor to talk about Russell Wilson and what he means to the city of Seattle, being a guy that knows how important the position is in that city.
Yeah, he's done a great job, and I think that team really complements each other really, really well. You see Marshawn, and everyone's okay with Marshawn and his personality, doesn't want to talk. And then you see Pete, and he's got it kind of like wild and all over. And I feel like Russell's just really steady, solid, can't find any real holes in him as a person or as a player. Just kind of been a steady leader of the ship, and he's taken Pete's kind of mantras and just waving that flag very well. Some people get on him for all the cliches, but I mean, he's a steady guy, and he's consistent. And obviously, he's been a very good player, and that's probably the most important thing.
And the guy he hands off to isn't talking to the media this week. If you had this situation, would you just stay out of it? Would you go up to
Who was I?
Well, if you were the quarterback and you're running back, that
And I
was.
was his quarterback, you know, for a year. And
okay.
I think again, I've said this before, but the reason I believe Marshawn has had so much success in Seattle as opposed to say in Buffalo or other places, day one, Pete Carroll called a team meeting, called him in. He said, Marshawn, stand up. Your whole life, people have been trying to change you, make you something that you're not.
This happened.
I want you to be Marshawn. You just be Marshawn. Here are 3 rules that we have here. And he gave him the 3 rules. They're pretty simple. You can live by those 3 rules, then you can just be you. And we want you to be you. And then he gave him this talk. Hey, I wanted you when I was at Southern Cal. I wanted you to come be a Trojan. Didn't happen. And now this is the NFL. I love it. I want a player. I just go get him. And I went and got you, traded for him, and you know, the rest is history.
This happened in the locker room, like in front of the whole team?
Team meeting room.
Team meeting room.
Team meeting room, first day.
And how did Marshawn take that? Did you see like a smile on his face, or what happened?
You know, it was like a sincere moment where I don't know how he took it, but for me, it was almost like I think some of us got a little choked up. Like, this is a cool thing. You know, this guy's getting a second chance. Sometimes you don't get a second chance. And I think just Pete did a great job with you know, motivating players. It was different for everybody. Again, his 3 rules are non-negotiable, but if you can abide by those things, then
what are the rules?
You know, it's like protect the team, no complaining, no excuses, that kind of thing, and then be early to everything. It's kind of the, you know, they're important. They're John Woodenisms that he's made into his own. Okay. But he does a good job.
Matt Hasselbeck is here on the Rich Eisen show right now. How about you? What's your scoop right now? Because I know I asked you on Colts Cam. Yes. And you said that you still want to play football.
Yeah. That was like a mini interrogation that day.
Well, I mean, listen.
I'm kidding.
No. Listen, I asked the questions that fans want to hear, Matthew. You know, I'm a man of the people.
Well, I don't know if anybody wants to hear. I am a free agent. I signed a 2-year deal with the Colts to back up Andrew Luck, and it's been a great learning experience for me. I feel like I've learned. I kind of went there thinking that you know, I was going to impart some wisdom on him. I've learned a lot. I feel like I've actually improved as a player being around him and a great set of coaches. I'm technically a free agent March 10th. I'd like to be back in Indianapolis.
Okay.
I'd say that I expect that to happen, but you know, we'll see. But I would like to keep playing.
Yeah, I'm going to take a break right now. In 60 seconds, we'll come back. I'm going to take some phone calls for you because you're a man of the people, too.
Let's do it.
You're a man of the people, too. And I think some 12s want to talk to you, too, Matthew. You're a popular guy. You're a popular man.
12s are popular.
Everybody wants a piece of Matthew Hasselbeck. And we have him right here on the Rich Eisen Show. Winding up into the second half of hour number 3 of our Thursday program from Glendale, Arizona, back in just 1 minute's time. Welcome back to the Rich Eisen Show. Matt Hasselbeck is right here in studio. I'm going to take a phone call from Seattle right now. That's where we're going to roll.
The 206?
I believe it is a different area code.
425? 509?
I don't know. Do I see the area codes here? Donna in Seattle, Washington. You're on the Rich Eisen Show. Donna?
Hi.
You're on with Matthew.
How you doing, Matt? Rich?
How you doing, Donna?
Hey, we're here too, Donna.
Oh, God, I'm so excited. I've been watching you all season, every Tuesday. I'm so excited to see you here.
Yeah. Hey. Rich Eisen Show viewer. Matt Hasselbeck friend.
I'm from way north. I'm up in Stanwood. That's why the area code's different.
Okay. Gotcha.
So the question is, Tavares Jackson's contract is up. There's a Facebook page that wants Matt to come back and retire as a Seahawk.
Matthew?
Facebook. I'm not an expert Facebooker. Well, I would expect at the end of my career, whenever it's over, I would expect that final, what is it, a one-day contract?
Yeah, you
I don't know how it works.
Sure.
I've seen it. But it's been fun playing. You know, the Seahawks, they got a great thing rolling right now. I'm a huge fan of a lot of people in that building. Obviously, special memories there. But right now, for me, you know, I'm just trying to kind of invest in the teammates that I have. I'm playing with a great group of guys. It was really awkward last year. We got to play the Seahawks, and you know, it's just kind of emotional. You know, playing against your friends.
Sure.
And then obviously 10 years there in Seattle, so it was funny. It wasn't, you know, I wasn't even on the field that day, and it was, but it obviously a special relationship between myself and a lot of people there.
Yeah, Donna, are you the 12th woman? Can I call you?
I'm one of them. Yeah, one of many. I'm sure.
Okay, there you go. Thanks for calling in. That's Donna. Let's go to Yakima.
Yakima.
Yeah.
That's a little further east.
Matt in Yakima, Washington. You're on with Matt Hasselbeck on the Rich Eisen Show.
Oh, man, I'm very happy that you took my call. Rich, I'm a huge fan.
Thanks.
Matt Hasselbeck, Mr. Hasselbeck, I'm a huge fan. I grew up watching you in Washington State. I've watched your whole entire career. in Seattle. I've seen you live. You're a legend in this city, and definitely want to give you props for what you've done to the organization. I'm still heartbroken over the Super Bowl with the Steelers, but that's a whole other story. And since you're on the phone, actually when I was on hold, I was reminiscing about Sean Alexander and how awesome he was and how a huge contribution an awesome running back is for any team. And with that being said, I think Marshawn Lynch the stage is set for him to have the most blowout game of all time. I think he's going to get 3 touchdowns and be the MVP of the Super Bowl. What are your thoughts, Mr. Hasselbeck?
Mr. Hasselbeck, thanks for the call, man.
It's like Mr. Grogan.
Yes, exactly.
Appreciate that.
You just got Mr. Grogan.
That's nice. No, hey, I think last year with the Seahawks, going back to that Super Bowl, I heard you guys talking beforehand. Mm-hmm. There were so many Steeler fans at that Super Bowl, at Super Bowl 40, that we, for the first time, had to go silent count. Just really hadn't, and we weren't even in the shotgun. We were under center. Mm-hmm. They traveled well, and I think that's something that obviously the Seahawks fans are so loud at home. That's something that we probably all learned, how important that home field advantage can be in a Super Bowl. And you saw it last year in New York. You were talking about how far it was really cool to see how many people traveled to New York for that Super Bowl and how it really gave them a home field advantage with the crowd noise.
There's no doubt.
This flight here, Seattle to Arizona, is simple. It's where, it can get a little cloudy and rainy up there. This is where people come. They come right to Arizona. They get their sun fix. They get their vitamin D. People are comfortable. This is where the Mariners have spring training. They're comfortable. They know this city. They know how to make this trip. Boston's all snowed out right now. I would expect the 12th man to be just incredibly loud Sunday for this game.
But you also know, as well as anybody else, Belichick takes away the thing you covet the most, and clearly that would be Marshawn Lynch for the
It's a little
Seattle
harder for
offense.
a running back.
So how does he do that? I mean,
he takes away. He makes you beat him left-handed. That's how we talk about it as an opponent.
What do you mean by that?
Like if you ever try to eat cereal left-handed. Like maybe you're right-handed, try to eat cereal left-handed.
Sure.
It shouldn't be as hard as it is, but it's hard.
Right.
So like we play the Patriots, and they'll take 2 guys and they will double T.Y. Hilton. Mm-hmm. The guy who makes most of our big plays. They will double him, and then they'll take their stud lockdown guy, Revis, and they'll lock him up on your other guy, say Reggie Wayne or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it's a tough matchup for anybody, And Reggie's a future Hall of Famer, but that's Revis. He does things that people don't do to you. It's not normal. I don't know how you take away a running game. You just, you can only do so much. You can only cover the receivers and tight ends the way you want to.
Right.
That doesn't allow you to stop a great run.
So would you say because we've been talking about how this is Gronk and how Seattle's going to cover him, that is a key to the key in my mind, the key to this game. Where do you think the key to this Super Bowl 49 game is?
For Seattle on defense?
Just in general. Just how, if Gronk gets off, if Gronk gets his 100 yards, if he gets a touchdown, the
running game for both teams.
Right.
When we played New England, really the last 3 times, twice in the playoffs and then once in the regular season, they rushed for close to 200 yards. There's really nothing you can do, especially as an offense. Your quarterback's on the bench. It's really tough. They're really good at that. They can do it with LeGarrette Blount. They did it against us with Gray. To me, the interesting thing for Seattle will be, can they run the ball? The Patriots have some talented players that people don't really know about on defense. 95, Chandler Jones, a really good player. Rob Ninkovich, I think, is a really underrated player. Both those guys are outside linebackers. And inside, Jamie Collins, 91.
Yeah, everyone's talking about he's a special player.
And he'll be a better player as his career goes on. But right now, he's a very, very, very good player. And I think he'll only get better. And Hightower inside is also very good. So, they're skilled.
They are skilled.
Yeah.
But Seattle has got the Legion, right? And if they're going to be healthy, and Bobby Wagner and those guys up front,
what does their defense do? Because we had 2 Hall of Famers tell you, Rich, Rod Woodson and Howie Long, that their scheme is simple. It's cover 3, and sometimes they slide over.
We're talking about Seattle's defense.
Seattle's defense.
Yeah.
If it's such a pretty simple and basic defense,
then why is it so tough?
Why is it so tough? And you guys had success. You guys beat them last year, week 5, right? But why does everyone struggle? Is it just the athletes?
It's kind of, this is my opinion on offense and defense. If you're simple, that means you're really, really good at what you do. Mm-hmm. Would you rather be really like the best in the world at what you do, or would you rather be okay at a lot of things? There are a lot of teams that are okay at a lot of things. But you go back to like the Tampa 2 defense, very simple. hard to even prepare for them because you had nothing to prepare for. You knew exactly what they were going to do every time, but they were so good at it. I would say Seattle's defense is that same way. You know what they're going to do, but they're so good at it. They play together. That's the factor on their defense anyway.
Matthew Hasselbeck here on the Rich Eisen Show. I mean, but let's go to John in Rochester, New York. Well, John in Rochester, you are on the Rich Eisen Show with Matt Hasselbeck.
Hey, how you doing, Rich? How you doing, Matt?
We're doing well.
Great show, and as a Seahawks fan out here in Buffalo Bill country, it's really cool to talk with Matt. I was wanting to chime in on the reason I think everyone's picking the Patriots, and I think a lot of it has to do with the last impression of the championship games. People tend to remember what they saw last, and Seattle didn't play their greatest game, and New England kind of dominated. And I also think that people are kind of brainwashed into thinking that Bill Belichick, given 2 weeks, that he's going to come up with something and he just can't be outcoached. But I think Pete Carroll is going to have a little something for him.
What do you think about that, Matt?
I actually like the Seahawks to win this game. I really respect New England, obviously. In Indianapolis, we really haven't found a way to beat them. You know, they're the best team in the AFC, and it wasn't really close this time in the AFC Championship game. So I have a ton of respect for them. But to me, Seattle has so much speed, and you saw they made Denver look a little slow last year in the Super Bowl. They just made them look slow. They had so much speed,
that was crazy,
especially outside.
Right.
New England's really good. They're really, really good. But I don't think speed is a strength in their secondary. It's not what they're good at. They're good at other stuff. They're good at bump and run, jamming, holding, doubling, combination coverages, those things. But I don't know that they've faced someone with as much explosiveness and kind of like athleticism from the second, third, first, second, and third guy as Seattle.
So that's our third analyst of the week with Ed Reed. You don't mind me calling you an analyst, do you?
Today.
Okay.
Today.
Ed Reed, Rod Woodson said Seattle, and now we have Matthew Hasselbeck. Stop overpaying for razors with so much shave technology. DollarShaveClub.com delivers amazing razors and grooming supplies right to my door for a couple of bucks. Shave time, shave money. Upgrade to DollarShaveClub.com. That's DollarShaveClub.com. Christopher, give me the update on the poll question.
What is the best Super Bowl party food? Matt, what do you think?
Best Super Bowl party food?
Well, give me
Pizza,
the choices.
chips and dips, sliders, or wings?
Oh, this isn't very healthy. I'm a sliders fan.
Sliders?
I like good sliders, yeah.
Well, where does that rank on the current poll question?
At the bottom, Rich.
Yeah.
Wings, 47%.
It's okay. You're an outlier, Matthew.
Yeah.
You're just an outlier. You go against the grain
Trendsetter.
in that way.
What about chowder?
There you go. Well, that's what Chef Mina's cooking up outside.
Not yet.
New
But I
England
can't
or
wait.
Manhattan?
Yeah.
Oh, there's only one kind.
Look at that chowder. Let me tell you, for the radio audience, that chowder that's being cooked up outside, the lobster chowder.
That's pretty good. That was sounding like Susie Schuster from Boston proper.
That's right. It is. Right out there. Hey, you're a good man, sir. Great to see you.
Thanks.
You want to stick around? You have to
We're
run
going
anyway?
golfing? We're dressed for it.
I don't know.
I'm coming back in my cowboy outfit tomorrow.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.